Welcome to the Top Agent Podcast. We speak to top industry leaders in real estate and extract their insights to help you grow your business. This podcast is powered by Web for Realty, the leading provider in real estate marketing tools. As our way of saying thank you to our listeners, we're offering an exclusive 2-month free promo to the best IDX websites, CRM, and email marketing tools in the industry. Just go to topagentpromo.com to claim this exclusive discount, no strings attached. If you're looking to attract leads, build relationships, and close more deals, go to topagentpromo.com and get started. All right, on the podcast today, I'm speaking with Nick Kyte, one of Ottawa's top real estate agents. Nick is considered a thought leader in his field. He speaks internationally on the luxury Canadian real estate market. He's been featured in Authority Magazine's Meet the Rising Stars of Real Estate, and he was just profiled in a global feature on Thrive about how to create a wow customer experience. Nick, welcome to the Top Agent Podcast.
Thanks, Costa, for having me. Excited to be here.
Awesome. Do you mind kicking things off just very briefly? Just tell us a bit about yourself, your background, and how you landed in real estate.
Absolutely, yeah. Born and raised in the nation's capital, Ottawa. Absolutely love it here. Being able to say that I went to school here, I did all my post-secondary education here, and now raising a family here with my wife, Lisa, and our daughter, Audrina, is a dream come true. Ottawa has really changed so much over the last 15 years, which is exciting, and I think that's a big, huge reason why the Ottawa real estate market is seeing such a boom and demand. And so I've been in real estate now, this is my 8th year. Prior to that, I worked at a local hospital in labor relations and also at the federal government level in HR. So choosing real estate was always a passion that I loved and wanted to get into, and now it mirrors pretty much everything I'm looking for, which is nothing's ever the same and it's ever changing, and allowing to use my creativity in different ways to help my clients buy and sell has definitely been something that I've thoroughly enjoyed.
Love it. That's awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that. So just for some context for the audience, how many transactions or sales volume do you expect to do this year?
This year, I'm looking at about 60 plus transactions and upwards of 40 to 45 million for sales volume. Last year I had my best year with just over 50 transactions and 30 million. And this year has been off to a fantastic start, and so I'm just kind of continuing with that momentum and really just protecting my clients, and in turn they keep referring me to their great friends and family, and I get that referral-based business to keep moving along.
That's incredible. Big time numbers there. And you're doing that as a single agent?
I am, yes. Yeah, so I have resources that support me in different aspects of the business. I have a full-time assistant and client care coordinator and other agents that do support the Kyte team in terms of buyer needs and whatnot. But I look after everything in terms of negotiations, marketing, everything. So when you deal with the Kyte team, you're dealing with me.
That's incredible. That's amazing. Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
Numbers. So, last 15 months have been pretty hectic in the real estate market. As we know, the market has been on fire seemingly everywhere. I speak to agents all over Canada and the US, and the sentiments are pretty much the same. A lot has changed with how you work, how we communicate. So curious to hear, how has your business evolved and just continued to grow during this time?
So I have to say that I think that people are very educated and are more understanding of what they're looking for in a realtor. And I do have to say that based on over the last year, I think that being honest and open and answering clients' questions to the best of your ability, because things are ever changing, definitely has been a reason for the continued support in my business and referrals. I've always just been in a situation where clients are the top priorities, so my communication skills hasn't changed. I'm immediate with my responses, whether it's through text, DMs, private messages, or emails, and so that is, I think, something that also stands apart from others. That clients get a hold of me and they get their questions answered promptly. And in addition, I guess it would be the boom that Ottawa has gone through and is continuing to go through in terms of being desirable for domestic and international buyers, as well as people like myself who are looking to remain in the Ottawa market and are either trading up or down in terms of what their needs are looking for.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And one thing I want to touch on, which you kind of alluded to, so we know how important relationships are in real estate. How has the relationship side of the business changed in the last 12 months?
So I guess it would be from a face-to-face standpoint, where I was able to pop by and see my clients, have more events that would be so-called normal in terms of gathering and the limits and stuff. So I would say that has been the hardest and most dramatic change. But what we did, so instead of throwing our annual client party during the holidays, Christmas holidays, we threw a pizza pie pickup. And so I was able to support clients and a local business by doing so. And, to be honest, it was one of our most successful events. I think people just really wanted to get out of the house. We did everything safe in 30-minute intervals. And everyone had a time stamp to arrive. Their pizzas were fresh, and they got a chance to enjoy with their family and us to connect. Even though it was briefly, it was nice to see people face to face. So I would say that probably has been the biggest change. But there has been also a lot of positive change that has come from the pandemic and what's been happening, and that is safety and really understanding who your clients are, and that we do get a lot of communication from the public, and not all of it is positive. And so, we really have to kind of look at it from a standpoint where we don't know who these people are, and we have to do our due diligence to ensure our safety as well as the intention. And so I would say that with COVID occurring, those situations where people aren't just in demand wanting to see a property and we've never met them before, we're able to set up Zoom calls, have a quick chat on the phone to confirm details. So I would say there's been pros and cons on either side, but one thing that hasn't changed is the need to have a professional realtor assist clients buy and sell, and even more so in this very competitive market with multiple offers, bidding wars, and everything that kind of goes in between. I think buyers and sellers need realtors even more so.
Yeah, I agree. And some really good points though there. You're totally right. A lot of pros and cons during the pandemic for sure. So I think now more than ever as well, there's been a definitely more of a strategic effort for real estate agents to be online a lot more. I see you're active on social media, for example. So how are you leveraging the internet specifically to market and grow your business?
Yeah, so I don't think anything in terms of that has changed for me. Since day one of getting the business, I knew that my in-person and online presentation should be the same. What you see in person is what you see online, and I think that whole kind of lifestyle, digital marketing and all that is part of what we do, and I haven't shied away from it. And so I think that even more so when people have more time or have less things outside of the house to do, I think that over the last year and a half now and continuing, I think people have just had more FaceTime and online. And so what you're doing online, how you're presenting yourself, what you're promoting, and the ways of doing that to gain that exposure for your clients, I think is even more important now than ever.
I agree. Couldn't agree more. So how much time do you spend or invest like in social media with like posts and, for example?
Yeah, so social media is a component to my real estate business. It is not everything, and so a lot of people just think that the social media is the marketing, but it's not. There's so much more that goes into running a real estate business, and so on a weekly basis, we do have a marketing meeting where we talk about what our content is going to be over the next month, what listings we have coming up, what we're doing to promote those listings in different manners. And obviously setting up a schedule for what we're going to be posting. And then there's the stuff that kind of comes up on a daily basis that I think is important for people to be aware of, and promoting that, as well as some supporting local, which I absolutely love and is something that I've always done from my own standpoint. And I think that it's even more so now in the public to support our local businesses as they've been put through the ringer. So just a lot of really community focused support, and then obviously exposing my clients' beautiful homes to the marketplace so that we can get top dollar for them.
Absolutely, very good. I want to talk about lead generating. So you're a client of Web for Realty, of course, at nickkyte.com, your website. You generate quite a few leads on your website and online. People filling out forms through your site, reaching out to you. What's the source of a lot of the online leads you're generating through your website?
I would say it would be the visibility of the social media on all the different platforms that kind of are getting picked up throughout the web. And I'd say that the more your name is mentioned on various platforms, the higher up Google obviously looks at you, and the more visibility you get in front of people. And in addition to that, I think it would just be the sheer volume of people either looking up content, researching, and looking for ways or looking for different platforms that I'm currently on as other mechanisms as to where that exposure is coming from.
Very good, very good. Are you able to quantify like how many leads, for example, come through like Instagram, just through your consistent content there, or do you measure that?
Yeah, so I kind of look at it through two different perspectives. I look at it that there are people who ask me so many different questions online, and I respond back and love it. And so are those people necessarily going to be the ones that purchase the house or something like that? Not always. So, but I find that as a community, people have questions, and so I answer their questions. Then, in addition to that, you have people who are serious and have seen, your coming soon or sneak peek digital kind of marketing push, and have questions, and then also want to seek what the next step would be. Like, when's the house going to be available for private showings? What safety precautions are in place for that to take place? What listing strategy is being completed? Are they holding off offers? Are they allowing first come, first serve? So all that. So I would say, like, on a monthly basis, my lead generation would be probably anywhere between 5 to 15 I would say considered B plus and up in terms of their questions and future business potential on average.
Wow, that's impressive. That's really good. And do you think just your consistency with social media and just like the content you're putting out, is that what's attributing to the consistent flow of leads every week?
I think that being top of mind to people is important, and I've always just enjoyed the aspect of marketing and social media. So for me, it's not something that's taxing on my time. I plan. We do a lot of proactiveness in terms of preparation and coming up with various various graphics and videos and whatnot. So I think it keeps it fresh. And I think, to be honest, I think people just, have questions. And so if they see a name or they see that I'm being followed by one of their friends or multiple of their friends, and they reach out to them and say, I have a couple questions, like who can help me? I get a lot of those kind of interactions where someone will say, well, my good friend, Cheryl, for instance, speaks highly of you, and I have a couple questions. Do you have some time? And I'll be sure. Well, what's easiest for you? Do you want a quick chat? Do you want to send me email? Do you want to communicate through text or the different messaging apps like Zoom? Like I'm easy, so people kind of just will say, yeah, I just have a couple quick questions. Don't really want to take too much of your time. I know it's important to you, and these are my kind of questions. And so I feel that all those things kind of coupled kind of keep my name in front of people and know that they can just reach out and just get some honest information back to them.
Very good. What are some other marketing channels you use to add new contacts, new leads into your database? We talked about, social media, online, the website. Anything else you're doing to attract new people in your system?
Yeah, so I would say it's kind of the community focused approach, and so I'm a firm believer of supporting local, and I find that in itself has been a huge component in addition to everything else, especially over the last year and a half. A lot of people are I'm maybe more cognizant of the fact that we should be supporting local, and maybe that's kind of in line with their values. And so that's definitely been another avenue that people have been reaching out to me, saying like, I'm so happy that you're promoting this and you're doing this. And then in turn, we have a couple questions, or we were thinking about this, like, could you come give us an evaluation of our property? So I just find that wherever people are coming from, they're coming, and I just meet them and have some very candid conversations, no matter what their process is, whether they're buying, selling, or investing.
That's great. No, I love the idea of having that community focused approach and supporting local. Can we dive into that a bit more? So when you say community focused approach, what exactly do you do to, reach out and support the community that at the same time, attracts attention and it allows you to meet new people? Like, what exactly do you do?
Yeah, so what I like to do is I call them pop buys or client gifts or whatnot. So I'll tell you a recent one I did, which a lot of people loved, is I put together a pasta kit box from Nordstrom. And so here in Ottawa, a client of mine is a client and friend, works at Nordstrom. And so I thought, well, I could support the local economy with Nordstrom. And in addition, the contents of the box was also from another client of mine that's local in the food production industry, and put that together in a nice box and give them out to clients as a little appreciation. And so I would say that that's probably one of the best ways I can say that I support local is I will promote people's business and want to share with my community, both in person and online. And then in addition to, like I said about the pizza pickup party, that is normally where I would throw my client appreciation party. It's a banquet hall facility here in Ottawa called Salsa Americo, and that is where normally we would be gathering, having food, drink, and everyone be enjoying. I just didn't. I felt wrong not to do something for my clients because I've been doing everything, and I think it was very easy for people with COVID to give an excuse that we're not going to do it safety first or whatnot. But we found a way to have it as a very safe event, and it was well attended. And again, people were very thankful and appreciative to get out, get a pie, enjoy it with their family, and just kind of feel that sense of community. So I'd say by just my intention of supporting local, it it just kind of goes full circle, and wherever people see that information, I think they're enjoying it.
Yeah, no, that's great. I like that. How often do you like to do these certain events and pop-bys and like these?
Yeah, so we always have. Again, I guess we'll see how the numbers work, but I always do have an annual client appreciation party in and around the end of November, start of December. I do reverse pie giveaway for Thanksgiving, so that's where I have my clients will come. They tell us in advance which pie they would like, and we have that pie ready for them. And this year, because it was COVID friendly, it was a car parade, and so people would be able to come to our office, pick up the pie, and continue driving. And then we do other fun things like the pizza pie giveaway. We do boxes. I to be honest, there's probably about 10 to 15 different things throughout the year on what we do to just kind of give back and enjoy seeing our clients smile.
That's awesome. That's amazing. So bringing leads in, is one part of the equation. To turn that lead into an actual client, it often takes a lot of time and effort and engagement. So, and you mentioned some already, but what are some of the things you're doing to continue to nurture the existing leads in your database?
Yeah, so for me, it's been the same. I'm very attentive to people's needs. I use a CRM system that allows me to get information quickly. I like to ensure that I'm well aware of people's birthdays, special occasions, home anniversaries, and I follow up. And I write a lot of handwritten notes that I've been doing since day one. And so I don't think that I've changed anything drastically at all. I'm just kind of consistent in my approach and the application and what I thoroughly love doing. And I actually thoroughly do love writing cards to people during exciting times. And, even when there's not exciting times and unfortunate, people pass or whatnot, I'm still there. And so I think my clients just know that. And a lot of my clients are also friends of mine. And so running a referral-based business with friends, a lot of people will say, oh, you shouldn't mix business and pleasure. And to be honest, I go against the grain, and I said, as long as you have mutual respect and that everyone understands the dynamic, then I think you definitely can have friends and run a business. And to be honest, I've been doing it successfully and will continue to do it this way because it's how I choose to run my business.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love that approach. So you mentioned there's a few special dates you like to keep track of for clients and stuff. So first of all, what dates are important to you, and how do you track those dates? Do you set up reminders, for example?
Yeah, so I have client profiles on my CRM, and I track the important things: birthdays, anniversaries, children's birthdays, special timelines in terms of home purchases, whether it's one or multiple, and so kind of all that information is what I use to nurture those relationships and keep in front of my clients, and as they know in person, I care. So I think that anyone that has met me or uses my real estate services, they know that how I am in business is how I am personally.
Nice. That's awesome. So switching gears a little bit on the other side of the business now. So you've sold some beautiful homes in your career. At the end of the day, you have to deliver for your clients and get them the best value for their home. So how do you ensure you get top dollar for homes you're listing, and how do you get your listings to stand out from competing properties?
So I think the first and foremost is time. To be able to come up with the kind of marketing concept for each of these individual properties, it takes time, and you need to be able to focus that attention to it. So first and foremost, it's explain to the clients the timelines that we're setting and why we're setting these timelines and how we're going to meet and work towards that, and the reason why we need to have the timeline like this, and to allow for the marketing concept for the pre-release, and then obviously going to market. All that preparation is vital for my clients' homes to stand out, because what happens is that by having everything prepared, or 99.9% prepared before you go to market, it allows you to navigate and tailor who's coming to you and see what's important to them, so that you can answer their questions from a basis of what's important. So that I would say that's important. Then it's the actual research that's required to showcase where you are right now in terms of the market and where the market is going, so that you can prepare for that, and then really explaining the variations of the listing strategies that are available, and why I'm either saying promoting this one or two, or I professionally think that this one would be the best, and why, and explain that to sellers, because a lot of people get a lot of information from various platforms, friends, family, and so you just want to be able to ensure that their concerns are being heard, but that they also understand the current market and how those decisions will affect the marketability of their home. And then it really does come down to the exposure of the property and making it stand out on domestic and international platform, and that really does come from the professional photography, the twilight photos, the use of social media, the various videos that are all custom, the drone, the aerial, the community focused and lifestyle. All these things all wrap into one home, and so we're constantly doing that for multiple homes all the time, and that's where I think that it's exciting, because everything's always different, and each home has a different story, and I just like to tell it. And I think so far, based on how we've broken so many different records at various price points throughout the greater Ottawa area, that it's definitely working, and that we'll continue with that approach.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. I'm curious to hear. So on the flip side, what's the biggest mistake you see realtors make when listing properties?
I think the biggest mistake is that you can tell it's rushed. It's very generic, and from the write up to the information that's not available, understanding the home, the uniqueness, even the drawbacks that you can flip to a positive. I'd say that the preparation. I think that people, when they get a call or are going through and are going to list a property, in their head it's how quickly can we get this home to market, and get it listed. Whereas for me, it's I want to get the home on the market at the correct time, based on the type of home that you have for sale. For instance, if you have an absolutely stunning backyard that has an in-ground pool, salt water, waterfalls, outdoor kitchen, and someone says, I need this to be listed in February. If we haven't prepared from the year before to get the video and the photos all done when your home shows the best, then I'm explaining to them that you may not get top dollar for your property, because people will open the door, not be able to see all the money that you spent in your backyard, and then you're losing that kind of exposure and impactfulness of all that. And so I would say that's kind of the difference, is that it's always, you're always looking to see what is best for your clients in terms of positioning, and hitting the market when it's best. So I would say it definitely be the reverse, would be not spending enough time getting those listings prepared, and that would be pretty much one of the biggest hindrances that I see out there.
Yeah, makes sense. Definitely agree with that. So you close, call it 50 plus deals a year. I know every deal is unique, has its own sets of challenges, but do you have an example of one particular deal that, didn't really go as planned, maybe had to jump some hurdles to get the deal done? Any examples you want to share?
Oh, so yeah. I had a recent one that was really difficult. So we had put the house up on the market. There was about a month of preparation to get the home to market. The price was competitive for the market that we're in, and in terms of what needed to be done to that house, in terms of bringing it up to a more modern standpoint. And any buyer that's going to go in there would be wanting to put their own personal touch in. And unfortunately, we did bring upwards of 3 offers to the attention of the sellers, and at that time the sellers didn't agree that it was in their best interest to accept those offers. What happened was, I knew in my heart that I couldn't get them any more than that, because of that was all the hard work, the preparation, the exposure, and the negotiating to get it to that standpoint. And I just knew that I wouldn't be able to do that again. And so based on them not willing to even counter any of the offers or entertain them, I just knew that it was time to move on. And so I did cancel the listing. And what was really nice is that a lot of the agents that either offered or had shown the property called and just wanted to kind of an update on what took place. And I just said, I did the best I could, but I can't keep putting all that time and effort into a property that the sellers won't want to sell or refuse to understand what the market is currently. And so I have so many other clients that do need my time, and when it didn't feel that it was being respected any longer, it's time to move on. And it was extremely difficult for me, because I don't like to leave things unfinished. So I would say that that's probably it has been in 8 years the worst situation that I have been in from a real estate perspective. And it was from everything from the business to personal, everything was affected. And it was nice to have colleagues kind of mirror and saying, like, good for you for moving on. And a lot of people wouldn't do that, but that you respect your time and yourself. And so I would say that is definitely something that stands out to me in my real estate career as a really, really tough lesson.
Thanks for sharing that. I think that I think that transparency can be very valuable to people, and I can see that being very difficult for most real estate agents to do. But at the same time, I think it shows who you are as a person, and your integrity with your business and with your clients. And I can see like the positive impact on that far outweighs losing that client. I'm sure you could agree with that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I turned around and I refocused on my clients who need me to help sell and buy. And to be honest, I just turned around and a few days later I helped 2 separate clients sell their homes for record prices. So it was a tough decision, and when you're in it, you don't really know that you're in it that deep until it's gone, and you realize how much weight is lifted off your shoulders, and that you're able to kind of bounce back and refocus. And I'm glad I was able to do that.
That's great. So I know you mentor agents as well. So if you had to give one piece of advice to either, let's say, a brand new agent or an agent that's looking to really step up their game, if you really had to narrow it down, what would that one piece of advice be?
Be yourself. I know it's so simple, and yet some people just don't. You don't have to be persona. You don't have to have an ego. Be true to who you are. It is very difficult to fake being one way personally and who you truly are, and then trying to do it a different way in business. So I would say that out of everything would be know the type of business that you want to run, be true to yourself, and if something is not in line with your values, or you just don't feel comfortable, there is absolutely nothing wrong with stating that and either coming to a resolve and working through it, or just understanding that it's in your best interest to cut ties and move on. So I would say, as simple as it sounds, would be listen to yourself, listen to your gut, and be true to yourself.
You know, for some reason, I knew that was going to be your answer, and I think that's just a compliment to you.
Thank you.
And, you know, based on this conversation. So, Nick, I do want to be mindful of your time. I do end off each chat with what I call the top three. You ready?
Sure.
Some heavy hitters here.
Okay.
Number one, you're the most impactful book you've read.
Tuesdays with Maury.
Tuesdays with Maury, nice. Number two, favorite vacation spot.
Favorite vacation? Oh my God, this is gonna be so tough. Cancun, Mexico.
Very good. And lastly, if you can go back, what's the one thing you wish you knew when you were just starting out in real estate?
That not everyone that supports you will actually support you.
Okay, you know what? I usually don't do this, but you know, elaborate on that. What do you mean by that?
So I think that when you get into business, I think there are people that you just assume will be there because they've always been there for you, or that are very close to you. And one of the hardest lessons is knowing that there are people that just will not use your services, no matter who you are, no matter how successful or not successful or anything that you are. It's just a decision that people make, and I'd say that's it, you know, coming from someone who, you know, wants to do their best for everyone all the time, and is, I'm very straightforward and honest. I would say that in itself is a really difficult hurdle to get over and continue to get over, but one that you must get over and get thicker skin, because not everyone, one thing that I've learned is not everyone is worth your time or your value, and so give the value to people who deserve it.
So for sure. So are there any tips, or how do you not take, or how do you learn to not take that personal? You know, if someone who you think will support you, you know, still like is your friend, you know, they like you, but for some reason or other they're not using your business. Like, you know, how do you separate that? Like, how do you not take it personal?
So I think you do have to kind of separate it. Is that it for some people there's the personal side and the business side, and they don't mix. And so you know who you are as a person, and so if it's not working from the business standpoint, then you just know that your lane is personal, and which is fine. You know, there's a lot of good people, a lot of good friends who that's the lane that we're in, and I wouldn't change it. And then there's the friends that, you know, come in both avenues, and you see the mutual respect, you see, you know, good things happen, and some of my favorite wins comes from, you know, close friends and family who were successful in, you know, getting the most for their home, or that it was a very tough time in their life, and this, you know, situation, we were able to alleviate that for them and help them move on. So I think just knowing that it's okay to be in that one lane or both, but if someone's not comfortable, then there's no need to further push that person or whatnot. It's just not going to work. And I always say, focus on the people who are focusing on you. And so if someone's not focusing on you, there's no need from a business perspective to focus on them. Focus on the people that are supporting you from a business standpoint, and service them and give them the wow customer service.
Very good. I like that. I think that's a very important, valuable lesson for sure. And lastly, Nick, if someone wanted to reach out, find you, where's the best place to do so?
Yes, absolutely. So they can reach me. My website is nickkyte.com. I'm on all platforms at Nick J. Kyte, and you can find me there: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. You can find me all through those platforms. And if anyone ever has questions, whether small, medium, large, or a very difficult scenario, reach out on whatever platform is easiest for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nick. I really appreciate the time you took to speak with me. I think a lot of people listening are going to get a ton of value and insight, so I do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Costa. It was great to be on, and happy to be here.
Awesome. We should do it again sometime, and all the best.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.